Hey guys, this is Android Nub and these are the best Android games of 2013 Part 5. First up is Asphalt 8 Airborne, a 3D racing game published by Gameloft. This is the 8th installment of the popular Asphalt series. So this is a racing game. It does have a pretty long single player campaign where you can play against the enemy AI, and there's also online where you can play against other people. The graphics are really good. It didn't run that good when I was playing it, but if you have a reasonably powerful device, you should be able to run this game pretty smooth. There are a lot of different cars to buy. You can upgrade your cars, and definitely worth the 99 cents. Next we have Bloodsword THD, a 3D hack and slash game published by 1QSoft. It's only for Tegra devices, and this is a really good looking hack and slash game. The graphics are really good, and so are the animations. However, this game doesn't have a story, and there really is like little to no RPG elements. There's like no items to pick up. It's a really simple game. Could use a lot more features. It feels kind of unfinished, but still a really good game if you're looking for like a kind of generic dungeon crawler. Next we have Warcom Genesis, a 3D third-person shooter published by Trinity Interactive. This game is a pretty good third-person shooter. The graphics are really good. Kind of has this kind of cartoony look to it. The third-person shooter aspect is really good. It's pretty easy to shoot and aim. It kind of sucks that this game has like 4 different classes, but you have to pay to get access to 3 other classes. But there are a lot of different maps and some variety in this game. You know, missions to do. I think you can play with other players, which is cool. And yeah, it's a pretty good shooter. Free and definitely worth checking out. Next up is Zombie Ate My Friends, a 2D zombie adventure game published by Glue Mobile. This is a kind of fun little casual game. The art style is pretty nice, pretty colorful. It has turn-based combat, and you use energy to attack and do lots of stuff. It does have a story and dialogue. It does have some cutscenes. There's a lot of stages and a lot of items to get. A lot of new weapons and clothing items. It's a pretty fun little adventure game with lots of content. There's a lot to do in this game, and I think people of all ages can enjoy it. Next up is Monster Shooter 2, a 2D survival shooter published by Gameline Studios. This game is the sequel to Monster Shooter 1, and it is a pretty good game. Graphics are colorful and the game runs pretty smooth. This game has really good music. It's one of the better survival type games. There's like tons of enemies and you just kind of shoot them. There are mission objectives to do, and there are lots of different weapons to get. It does have co-op, so you can play with other people. Quite a bit of content and a really cool action shooter game. Next we have Blackgate Inferno, a 3D MMORPG published by Glue Mobile. So this game got really popular after it was released. There was already tons of people playing this game. Really easy to find a party. When I played it, this game was like extremely laggy. So I'm not sure if they fixed it or maybe it was just my tablet, but it was like super laggy. But there was tons of people playing it. It's kind of like a dungeon crawler type game, you know, instance-based missions. It's like 8 different classes, and it's a pretty cool MMORPG, similar to Arcane Legends, but with a kind of darker theme to it. If your device can run it pretty smooth, then it is a pretty cool game. Next up is Champs Battlegrounds, a 3D tactics strategy game published by Quark Games. So this game is similar to like these kind of tactics strategy type games, but everything is done in real time. You can play against the enemy AI. There's like a kind of like a story, pretty long single player campaign. It requires strategy, and there are lots of different units you can get. You can also play against other players in PvP, which is pretty fun. So yeah, if you're looking for like these kind of tactics strategy type games, this game is a really nice one. Next up we have Celeste Arca, a 3D MMORPG published by Asobimo. So this game is published by the same people that made Ava Bell Online. Graphics in this game is more anime and cartoonish than Ava Bell, and the combat is different. It's turn-based combat, so if you're like a fan of Final Fantasy, this game is kind of similar to that. This game does have a story, so unlike most MMORPGs, this game does have a pretty good story with lots of cutscenes and dialogue and stuff. You know, the quests are a little more interesting than just going around killing random stuff. There's a lot of people playing this game right now. It's a pretty good game and it's free, so check it out. Next we have Battlestone, a 3D action adventure game published by Zanga. This game has really good graphics. It has action-oriented combat. Yeah, there's lots of different heroes you can play in this game. There's like a ton of levels. The graphics are really good. Runs pretty smooth. You know, there's like some lag every now and then. But this is a really cool game. Good animations and skills and attacks, and it's free, so check it out. Next we have Cross Horizon, a 3D RPG published by Marvelous AQL. This game has really good graphics and it runs extremely smooth in my opinion. So when you go into combat, you attack the monsters by swiping or tapping the screen. You know, it actually works out pretty well. You know, you do have a stamina bar, so you can't swipe non-stop. You can also block. You know, there's quests and a story in this game. It really has that console quality feel to it. It's really good music. And overall, it's a pretty cool RPG. Next up is Bounty Arms, a 3D RPG published by Kerosene Games. This game has really good graphics and runs really good considering the type of graphics and effects that it has. There's a lot of missions, 3 different characters to play. I found the combat in this game is really nice. I could kind of use a mini-map, but overall the game is pretty good. You can shoot cool laser beams and all kinds of stuff. There's a good amount of content, there isn't too much, but it's definitely a high quality game and worth checking out. Next up is Galaxy on Fire 2 HD, a 3D space shooter RPG published by Fish Labs Entertainment. So this game is free to download on Google Play, but I think a lot of the content and stuff may require you to pay. This is like a space shooter with RPG elements. It has a good story with lots of voice acted dialogue. Combat's pretty good, though it is a little hard to aim. Graphics are really nice, and overall, if you enjoy this game, it probably is worth spending money on it to like get new content and all that stuff. Next up is Riptide GP2, a 3D jet ski racing game published by Vector Unit. So like the original Riptide, this game is a jet ski racing game. It is pretty fun, really nice graphics, and plays really smoothly. There's single player where you can play against a computer opponent. There are lots of cool tricks you can do in the air. There's also online where you can play against a lot of other people online. There are different jet skis to buy, and this game is definitely worth it for racing fans. Next we have The Respondables, a 3D third-person shooter published by Zanga. The game has pretty good graphics. The graphics resembles Battlefield Heroes and Blitz Brigade. So this game has mission objectives before you start each map to get gold and experience. There's a shop where you can buy lots of different clothes and guns. So the gameplay is pretty fluid. The controls are pretty good. There's also multiplayer where you can play other people online. So overall this game is another good, free third-person shooter. So next we have Heroes War, 2D casual RPG published by Comtoise. This game is kind of like an RPG. It has turn-based combat. It's more of a casual game where you just do lots of different missions where you fight enemies. So you can level up your character, get new items, can unlock or buy new characters you team up with. There's kind of like a story, but it's not really good. But there's a lot to do in this game. A lot of levels to go through. There's also like dungeons. It's pretty fun and worth checking out. Next we have Bloons TD Battles, a 2D tower defense game published by Ninja Kiwi. Now there are lots of different kind of Bloons type games. This one is specifically online, so this one you can only play against other people online, but there are a lot of people online, so you should have no problems finding a game. This is like a tower defense game. Your tower are monkeys and the enemies are balloons, and you gotta prevent them from getting to the other side. There's lots of stuff to unlock. It's a really cool game if you're looking for an online head-to-head tower defense game. This is a pretty fun one. Next up is Final Fury, a 3D action survival game published by Walnut Co. Limited. This game has pretty good graphics and runs pretty good. It is a survival type game. It does have co-op, but when I played there wasn't really anyone else to play with. Basically you just go through waves of enemies like most survival games. There are lots of items you can buy in the shop. It's a pretty cool survival game, lots of replayability, and lots of stages and waves. Last we have Terra Monsters, a 2D pet battle game published by Social Titans. So this is a pet battle game, you have a pet and you battle other monsters in the world. The graphics kind of look like Pokemon, like when you're moving around in town, and it has a lot in common. It is a pet battle game, so you can catch monsters in this game, and there's like over 200 different kinds of monsters. So it's turn-based combat, but it has this kind of interactiveness where you tap the screen to do as much damage as possible. So if you're looking for a pet battle game, this is a good one to check out. Anyway, that's all for now. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already. Stay tuned for more videos and thanks for watching.